So in today's session, we will discuss about different lines and how they are situated with respect to an ellipse and what are their speciality. We will start with the chords of an ellipse. Okay. We have discussed about the parametric representation of any point on an ellipse. So we are starting with chord of the ellipse. We are considering still the ellipse in the standard form, like in x squared by a square plus y squared by b square is equals to 1. And to consider it horizontal, we are still believing a is more than b. Okay. So a chord of the ellipse joining points P, whose eccentric angle is theta 1 and hence coordinate been considered as a cos theta 1, comma b sin theta 1, and another point Q with eccentric angle theta 2 on the ellipse having coordinate a cos theta 2, comma b sin theta 2 on this ellipse. So roughly you can expect this diagram. This was the horizontal ellipse on which we are simply joining 2 points. So do you believe this is at all challenging, or we can get to the equation? We are
Yes,
supposed
sir,
to
we can get
determine
something, sir.
equation of a chord, that is equation of a straight line, and we are given with 2 coordinates on it. Okay. So definitely having the equation is not an extraordinary job. We can comfortably do it. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
So why we are discussing on that, even if we can find the equation of the straight line in 2-point form? So basically our target is to have the equation in such a way that if some speciality been offered in terms of the sum or difference of the eccentric angles of the extremity of the chord, we should be in a position to conclude on that basis. Okay, we must be in such a situation where we will be able to have some conclusion on that basis. Okay, so we have started very normally with a 2-point form of representation for the straight lines equation. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so y minus b sine theta 1 is equals to b sine theta 1 minus b sine theta 2. I have taken the b common, divided by a cos theta 1 minus a cos theta 2. So change in ordinate by change in abscissa into x minus ordinate, x minus abscissa of the same point, whose ordinate been subtracted from y on the left hand side. So that's 2-point form of representation for a straight line. And as we have already discussed, this is not our targeted form, right? Is that okay to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So that means we are now looking forward to have representation in such a way that sum or difference of the eccentric angle can be capitalized on the basis of given information. And the lone way to start in that direction are those differences. Sin theta 1 minus sin theta 2 can be
Yes, sir.
factorized. Cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2 can also be factorized. So we have gone by the factorization. Now sin theta 1 minus sin theta 2 is 2 sin theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2, and cos of theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2, whereas cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2 is minus 2 sine of theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 and sine of theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2. So we can cancel out the sine theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2 as well as the 2, right? And now we are pursuing a cross multiplication. So if we cross multiply this minus a sine theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2, that's been multiplied to the other side. So we are getting minus ay sine theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 plus ab sine theta 1 sine of theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2. Whereas on the other side, this b cos theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 will be multiplied with this x minus a cos theta 1. So from here we have got bx cos of theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 minus ab cos theta 1 cos of theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2. So now we have taken the variable associated terms to same side. And if I keep the two highlighted, green highlighted term to same side, it becomes AB into cos of theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2. Is that okay for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Anyone having any confusion? Is that okay for all?
Yes, sir.
Especially this association. It was after taking AB common, it was cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Okay, that has given us cos of A minus B. And now we can divide the whole equation with AB to get to this required form, where we can write the equation as x by A cos of theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 plus y by B sin of theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 is equals to cos of theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2. So obviously you can identify now if we have any speciality in terms of the sum of the eccentric angles of the extremity or otherwise difference of the eccentric angles of the extremity, we are in a position to capitalize that. Right, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is the calculation clear for all? A
Yes,
bit
sir.
lengthy calculation, but we will not perform it every now and then. That is why we have summarized this form. So now onward, we will keep in mind this variation. More importantly, you can identify the form of representation is looking a bit close to the equation of the ellipse. We do have x by A here, y by B here, right?
Yes, sir.
So that allows us one more thing. Let's see how we can capitalize that. We will keep that in mind and we will see how we are going to capitalize on that. So firstly, we are going for some application on that basis of identification. Like if we have been given with some Lx plus My plus n is equals to 0, is such a chord of x squared by a square plus y squared by b square is equals to 1, that the extremities are differ by a right angle through their eccentric angles, then find a square L square plus b square m square by n square. So over here, what is been informed to us ahead of the chord information, that the extremities having their eccentric angles differing by a right angle margin, right? So you can consider theta 1 minus theta 2 is right angle. Is that okay with
Yes.
everyone?
Yes, sir.
And hence, we can think of the equation of the chord with eccentric angles of the extremity theta plus pi by 2 and theta. If we plot that in the equation, we have got the equation of the chord as x by a cos of theta plus pi by 4, y by b sine of theta plus pi by 4 is equals to the other side, which was supposed to be cos of half of the difference of the eccentric angle, that's been transformed into 1 by root 2. Now the same equation of the chord is given by Lx plus My plus n is equals to 0. So definitely these two lines must be proportional.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
acceptable for all?
Yes, sir.
And when we have compared them through proportionality, we have got cos of theta plus pi by 4 divided by AL, or you can think of it as cos of theta plus pi by 4 divided by A whole divided by L, which has been represented in this form. Similarly, sine of theta plus pi by 4 divided by BM has been found same as 1 by root 2 divided by minus n.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means from here we can identify cos of theta plus pi by 4 as AL, or better to say minus AL by n root 2. Right? Comparing the first
Yes,
one
sir.
and the last one.
Yes, sir.
Cos of theta plus pi by 4 is minus AL by n root 2. and sine of theta plus pi by 4 is going to be minus bm by n root 2. And hence, if you go for cos square plus sine square is equals to 1, it gives us a square L square plus b square m square by 2n square is equals to 1, or simply when the denominator is just n square, the value will be 2. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this type of application clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Instead of the eccentric angles differing by instead of 1 by root 2, there should have been some other constant on the other side, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
No
sir.
other difference, because over here, if the angle is not pi by 4, but some any constant alpha, due to that, we are not going to have any impact. Ultimately, having these values, after that, we are going for sum of the square is 1, the identity. So it does not matter. It will only having the impact over this 1 by root 2 if it is some other constant margin been given for the difference of the eccentric angles. Are you all clear up to this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
The next idea we will address is position of a straight line with respect to an ellipse. So for the time being, we are considering the ellipse to be the standard horizontal one, x squared by a square plus y squared by b square is equals to 1. Or better to say the standard one, we are not considering a more than b yet. Okay. In this representation, if a is more than b, then we know this ellipse is horizontal. And if a is less than b, then the same equation will stand for standard vertical ellipse. So at this
Yes.
moment, we are just considering this ellipse to be standard. We are not considering a more than b or a less than b. Okay. Let us see what are the conclusions we are getting. Accordingly, we might mark them to be precise for horizontal or vertical. And whenever we do not need any such restriction, then those conclusions will stand for any standard ellipse. So we have considered the ellipse to be the standard one with center at origin and axis along coordinate axis, and the line in general some y is equals to mx plus c. So if we associate these two, we will get x squared by a square added with mx plus c whole squared by b square is equals to 1. Or multiplying with a square b square, we can transform this into a quadratic in x. That is a squared m squared plus b square into x square plus 2a square mc into x plus a square into c square minus b square is equals to 0. Now the question is, can we confirm this association to be a quadratic? Like if you can recall in parabola, we were not in a position to conclude that in general as a quadratic. As the leading coefficient was m square, so we have concluded if we consider any line parallel to axis for a parabola, the association was not quadratic. But do we have any such problem over here due to any value
No,
of
sir.
m?
No,
No,
sir. B is
So
never
m could
equal
have been anything. A square m square plus b square is definitely non-zero. Even we can mark it to be positive.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
And
sir.
hence, this is for sure a quadratic. So as the association is quadratic, even before we proceed, we can confirm that definitely a line with respect to ellipse can be situated in three conventional form, where it is
Yes,
either generating a chord with the ellipse or a tangent of the ellipse or not coming into contact with the ellipse. So one of the three conventional positioning is only valid for a straight line in comparison with an ellipse, right?
Yes, sir.
This much of conclusion clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, if we check the discriminant we have found 4a to the power 4 into m square c square minus 4a square into c square minus b square into a square m square plus b square. So discriminant is clear. So if this discriminant is positive, then definitely our considered line is going to be a chord. If this discriminant is negative, then the line does not come into contact with the ellipse. And the most special fact is when the discriminant is 0, this line can be identified as a tangent of the ellipse. Okay. So we have simplified the discriminant a bit and we have reduced it into the form of 4a square b square into a square m square plus b square minus c square. So for d less than 0, as I said earlier, no contact between line and ellipse. D greater than 0 will give us the line as a chord for the ellipse. And the most special part is D equals to 0. That will give the line as a tangent for the ellipse. And hence, condition for tangency will give us a square m square plus b square is c square. As you can identify, this factor of discriminant cannot be 0. This is 4 times square of the semi-minor length, semi-major length multiplied with square of the semi-minor length. It might be even opposite, as we haven't marked A as semi-major and B as semi-minor. In any way, if A and B are the semi-axis length, so we are getting product of their squares. We need not to know which one is which axis length. Even then, this conclusion stands good, right?
Yes, sir.
And this cannot be 0. So the lone way to get the discriminant 0 is this section 0, providing us c square is equals to a square m square plus b square. So that means it is a degree 2 relation, right? So same value of m can give us 2 distinct c's, right?
Yes, sir.
And hence we can conclude that even ellipse is going to contain parallel tangents like circle. In parabola,
Yes,
we haven't found any possibility of parallel tangents. There was unique tangent corresponding to a slope, but this time again we have found for any specific value of m, we are still going to have 2 possibility for C. Even will there be any restriction on m to be acceptable for c square in the form of a square m square plus b square? As c square is a square m square plus b square, c square is a non-negative quantity. So is there a restriction on m? Or a square m square plus b square is by default positive and acceptable for c square?
No restriction for it.
So no restriction. That means ellipse will possess tangents of every possible slope. Even we know that the tangents at the vertices, they are not defined with their slope. These are vertical tangents. Apart from that, we can have tangents of ellipse with every possible slope. And more particularly, with every possible slope, we are going to get 2 tangents for the ellipse. So parallel tangents exist, right? And hence, now we know y is equals to mx plus or minus root over a square m square plus b square is always a tangent of slope m for this ellipse. And the important fact, yet we haven't decided whether this ellipse is horizontal or vertical, right? If a more than b, then this ellipse is horizontal. If b more than a, then this ellipse is vertical. And even without deciding that, we have got 2 equation of tangent having slope m. So that means simultaneously we have got tangent for horizontal as well as vertical ellipse. Right, everyone?
yes, sir.
Okay. But remember one thing, when it is a vertical ellipse, this a square is the semi-minor length square and b square is the semi-major square. Whereas for the horizontal ellipse, a square is the semi-major length square and b square is semi-minor length square, right? So we just need to keep that in mind. So tangent with slope m, that's been concluded as y is equals to mx plus or minus root over a square m square plus b square. Now if I consider tangent at the point a cos theta comma b sin theta, can that be found easily with T transformation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So with T transformation, we can get to this equation. X square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1 was the form. So we will replace x square with x into a cos theta. So after cancellation of 1a, we will have x by a sec theta. Similarly, y square will be replaced with y into b sin theta, and hence the reduced form is y by b cosec theta is equals to 1. The benefit of writing in this variation is now we know the tangent drawn at the point is cos theta comma b sin theta on the ellipse will meet the x-axis at a sec theta comma 0 and y-axis at 0 comma b cosec theta. So this is intercept form of a line. Okay, so this information is also with us. Moreover, on that basis, if we try to apply on this type of idea, we find the point of contact for y is equals to mx plus c with x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1, where c square is a square m square plus b square, means the line is a tangent. So if we need to have the point of contact, what we can do, we can think of the point of contact as some alpha comma beta, and hence T transformation due to alpha comma beta, that is x alpha by a square plus y beta by b square minus 1 is equals to 0, must be proportional to y minus mx minus c is equals to 0. So the given tangent must be proportional to the T transformation due to assumed contact point. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So these two proportional equation when been compared, giving us alpha as minus a square m by c and beta as b squared by c. Right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So we have got our targeted alpha comma beta, and hence we can confirm the tangent with slope m will have the contact point as minus a square m by c comma b square by c, right? Whereas is c fixed or it has two possibilities?
No possibilities.
And how are the two possibilities? If lambda is one possibility of c, then what is the other possible value of c?
So minus lambda.
Minus
Minus
lambda.
lambda.
So c can accept two values which are negative of each other. That means the point of tangency for two parallel tangent, there will be two coordinates who are reflection of each other about origin. If one of them
Yes.
is alpha comma beta, then the other one is minus alpha comma minus beta. Right?
Yes, sir.
So chord of contact of parallel tangents is the line passing through origin, the center.
Yes, sir.
So that means even in ellipse, we do have the fact that we have got from circle that parallel tangents can only be drawn from the extremities of a chord passing through center. Now in
Yes, sir.
circle, we could have called them diameter, but in ellipse, it's not like that. Okay. But this fact is confirmed.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is our conclusion that parallel tangents can be drawn to an ellipse only from the extremities of a chord passing through the center. So let's just sum up what we have learned so far. We have got that ellipse can have tangents, or ellipse can have any straight line in one of the three conventional positioning, like a line passing through outside, or generating a chord, or the most special one as a tangent. While considering tangent, we have concluded that an ellipse can possess tangent of every possible slope, and there will be two tangents of same slope, and hence parallel tangents exist. And now with the last result, we have concluded that parallel tangents can only be drawn from the extremities of a chord passing through the center, or on the reverse, we can say the same conclusion that chord of contact of parallel tangents is definitely a chord passing through center. Is that okay so far?
Yes, sir.
Has everyone completed up to that?
Yes, sir.
May I proceed ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next example, it asks us to find the point of intersection of the tangents for x squared by a square plus y squared by b squared is equals to 1, drawn from this point P and this point Q respectively. Now, is it a difficult job or is it a hectic job? What we have been asked?
Sir,
We have been
because we know both the
hectic.
equations, then we can just solve them.
Yeah. Like ellipse been given, point of tangency been given. So can we have the first tangent by T
Yes, sir.
transformation?
Yes, sir.
Don't write anything. Just let's firstly go through this discussion and then we will decide what to write, whether we will do hectic job or we can go through something very special as identification and can make the job just one liner. Okay. So due to the point P as point of tangency, we can have T transformation to get to the tangent. Similarly, we can use Q as point of tangency and perform a T transformation to get to the equation of tangent. And two tangents means two straight lines. And if you have their equations, we can solve two linear equation in two variables to get to their point of intersection. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So everyone agree on that, right? So we know what are the steps needed to be performed for the general proceeding. Now, let us reconsider that the point we are supposed to find, for that point, what is PQ? Can anyone answer that? Over here, we are searching for the point of intersection of the tangents that can be drawn from
That
P.
is chord of contact with respect to that point.
Very good. So that means we are searching such a point due to which PQ is going to act like chord of contact.
Yes, sir.
Are we ready with the equation of chord PQ? We have started today's session on that note. We are ready with chord PQ equation.
Yes, sir.
Let's go up. This was chord PQ, right?
Yes, sir.
And we have identified some symmetry in terms of representation that I said you, that keep that in mind. We are going to use this symmetry. Like we can consider of this equation as x into a cos theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 by a square plus y into b sine theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 by b square
Okay. Yes, sir.
is equals to this right hand side cos of theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2,
Yes, sir.
right? Moreover, if I divide the whole equation by the right hand side, we can transform the right hand side into 1.
Yes, sir.
So that means we can give it a look like x1 by a square plus
Yes, sir.
y1 by b square is equals to 1, which
Yes,
is
sir.
t transformation of the ellipse due to x1 comma y1 point, right?
Yes, sir.
So this format can be very easily changed to t transformed variation of x square by a square plus y square by b square due to some point x1 comma y1. All we need to know what is going to be that x1 and y1, that can be easily decided. So let's get back to our point of discussion. Okay. So what we have considered, if we consider the point as alpha comma beta, that intersection point, then PQ is chord of contact due to alpha comma beta. This was our identification. And hence, equation of PQ in that sense should have been alpha x by a square plus beta y by b square is equals to 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Whereas from the first equation, that C1, we can rewrite PQ by making this right hand side 1 and the denominators as a square b square, like in this form. Okay, let me write that for you before making this conclusion. So we can write this as x by a square into a cos theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2, which was already there, divided by the right hand side, that's cos of theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2, right? Plus, instead of y by b, I am writing y by b square. That's been multiplied with b sine of theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 divided by the right hand side cos of theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2 is equals to 1, and hence this portions been identified as alpha and this portion been identified as beta, right?
Yes,
The
sir.
comparison been done in this form itself.
হ্যালো স্যার,
Yes.
স্যার আমি বললাম আমি পরীক্ষায় কোথায় এরর লিস্ট করতে হবে।
Okay. Is that clear so far?
Yes,
স্যার
sir.
কোশ্চেনটা একবার দেখাবেন?
So do all of you agree that if we can follow the analysis, we can jump into this conclusion on a direct basis after identifying what analysis has concluded so? So for competitive purpose, we need not to frame even a single equation of tangent and still we are ready with the point of intersection. Okay with all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now we will go for some special results. Like the locus of the foot of the perpendiculars from foci upon any tangent of an ellipse is going to be the auxiliary circle of that ellipse. Earlier we have considered auxiliary circle as the smallest circle to contain the ellipse. Okay. So that is why we have taken a concentric circle with diameter same as the major axis of the ellipse. Now, if we can establish this result, we have an alternate description for auxiliary circle, and the description says it can also be identified as foot of the perpendiculars from the focus or from any of the foci of the ellipse upon any variable tangent, right? So to do the job, we have considered any tangent in slope with slope m, and why we should assume the tangent in terms of slope m, not in terms of point of tangency. Any hint in the description?
Sir,
What we are going,
perpendiculars.
very good.
Product
So
minus
what
1.
what we are going to find is foot of the perpendicular. So the moment perpendicularity will come into the scenario, the slope of the tangent is going to be more useful than the point of tangency, right? So that is why we had two choices of considering the tangent in terms of slope m or in terms of point of tangency as some a cos theta b sin theta. We have decided to go for slope variation. So is that decision making clear that why we have gone for slope and not the point of tangency? Is that okay? The small things are going to be kept in mind, because as a teacher, I might start the solution with this one and then show you the further steps. But when you need to start solving your own question independently, you will always face such question that how should I approach the equation of the tangent, whether it should be in terms of slope, it should be in terms of point of contact, or should be something else. Okay. So over there, this decision making, the information, and on that basis decision making, these qualities will be required. So is that logically acceptable for everyone that we must go for the tangent in slope form?
Yes, sir.
So with this tangent in slope form and its perpendicular line through the foci, that's my plus x is equals to plus or minus a. These are the two lines that we need to solve simultaneously, right? So over here, plus or minus, this gives us the opportunity to consider any of the tangent of slope m, and plus minus before the a, this gives us the independence to consider the perpendicular drawn from any of the foci. So we are having a general acceptability by these assumptions, right? It could have been any tangent of slope m. It could have been perpendicular from any of the foci. Now, we need their simultaneous solution. So what do you believe? That should we directly target solving two equation and two unknown in that way? Or do we have the expression hinting us towards a special association? Because what we finally require is the simultaneous solution of these two, or simultaneous association of these two, free from m. It is only the m which is our assumption, right? Which is involved in both this equation, over here, over here, over here. So m is our assumed slope which is involved in this form. So we need the locus of the common point in terms of association of these two equation free from m, right everyone?
Yes,
So
sir.
in that direction, we do have two possibilities. One is we will solve these two equation as two equation in two unknown, and hence get the point of intersection as some h comma k, where h and k both will be in terms of slope, right? And then if I eliminate m to correlate h and k, that will give us the locus, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do all of you can follow this general procedure? Now we are thinking of, apart from general procedure, are these expressions somehow hinting towards anything else? Like I do have plus minus, I do have square root. Whenever we have them,
Sir,
What
should
is,
we square them?
yes, the most tentative changes that we usually perform to get rid of them, because neither we like plus minus nor square root. So we want our calculation free from them, and the easiest operation which can help us to get rid of them is squaring. So definitely squaring of both equation will get us escape from such appearances. Now the question is, after squaring, what should we do? Should I go for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? What should we do? So for that particular hint, we do have this left hand side is y minus mx, and this left hand side is my plus x.
Sir,
So
should
once
we
we square them,
add
they
them?
will have the 2ab type terms,
Yes, sir. To eliminate
same
them.
in both, but with opposite sign. So if we add, at least we can reduce one term, right?
Yes, sir.
Moreover, on the other side, we can have a b square from here through squaring, and then a square is square from here through the squaring, and their addition is a square. So this is associatable by addition after squaring, right? And this
Yes, sir.
observation has pushed us towards the in not general or the shortcut association, that squaring and adding gives us this formation. Now out of this b square and a square is square, they will have their addition a square, and hence the association becomes 1 plus m square time y square added to 1 plus m square time x square is equals to 1 plus m square time a square. And hence cancelling 1 plus m square, we have got the relation free from our assumption m, and having equation x square plus y square is equals to a square, which is the auxiliary circle for our considered ellipse. Is that okay along with the diagram?
Yes, sir.
The next idea is, if we draw a circle by considering the points of intersection of any tangent with the tangents at vertices as diametric extremes, then the circle must pass through the foci. Okay. So firstly, write down this result. And draw this diagram. What's been stated, that firstly we will have the ellipse and its tangent through vertices. Draw any random tangent. So where it will intersect the tangent at vertices, like over here has been shown as A and B. If you draw a circle with AB as diameter, it is supposed to pass through the foci S dash and S. Okay. So as per the description, can you follow the diagram?
Yes, sir.
Now, what are the target, or what should be our targeted approach to establish show? If we can show that A S dash B is right angle, or A S B is right angle, that will be sufficient, because we are considering a circle with AB as diameter.
Yes,
If
sir.
we can show that AS dash B angle is right angle or ASB is right angle, so they can be identified as semicircular angle, and hence definitely will lie on the circle. And hence to do that, all we need to show is slope of AS dash and slope of BS dash are negative reciprocal of each other. Similar for the case of S also. slope of AS and slope of BS should be negative reciprocal of each other. If we can establish this much, we can have the result. So we will go for determining A and B, and then we need to show these angles are right angle. That will be all. Okay, I haven't shown you the calculation. I think you can go through the calculation. Like if we go for a random tangent, over here we are open to both. Neither the slope of the random tangent nor the point of tangency is coming into consideration. So when no one been given more priority, we will stick to the tangent in terms of point of tangency. And why we should do so? Because in terms of point of tangency, if we have the equation of the tangent, it will incur trigonometric terms to appear. Like if P is A cos theta comma B sin theta, then the tangent is x by a sec theta plus y by b cosec theta is equals to 1. So that will bring trigonometric terms into consideration. And trigonometric terms are always connected by their identities. So we will have more scope of easier association. There are so many trigonometric relation we already know that can be useful over that calculation. But if you proceed through algebraically, it has to be very strong algebraic observation while associating or while establishing any result. Okay. So if no one been given priority, the slope or the point of tangency for a tangent, in that case, if the choice is ours, we will go for point of tangency. Okay. Or the representation of the tangent in terms of point of tangency. Am I clear to everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Next, go for the minimum length of a tangent cut by the lines of symmetry of an ellipse is A plus B when lengths of axes are 2A and 2B respectively. Okay. So this is next result and a very, very important result. Even the way in which we will determine, so it will be responsible for some other forthcoming results also. So anyway, let us read again what is been given to us as result. The minimum length of a tangent cut by the lines, or better to say the minimum length of intercept from a tangent cut by the lines of symmetry of an ellipse is A plus B when length of axes are 2A and 2B respectively. Now, this is a very general description. Do we know who are the lines of symmetry of an ellipse?
The axis.
The axis means the major axis and the minor axis. So over here, it's been said about them, but not directly been said about the major axis and minor axis. The alternate description is the lines of symmetry of the ellipse. Moreover, can we identify what is the major axis length for this ellipse by the description? Is it 2A or is it 2B? Is that been confirmed by the description?
No, sir, it can be any one of those.
It can be anyone. That means we are getting this result true for both variation. Okay.
Yes.
And if it is a result true for every ellipse, we will try to establish it for the standard ones, because over there calculations are going to be easy, whereas it is a physical measurement based relation, right?
Yes,
Or
sir.
physical measurement based result. So if we can establish that this is true for the standard ellipse, doesn't matter whether horizontal or vertical, in that case it will be true for all others. Okay. So in that direction, what we have targeted, let us firstly draw. Okay. So we have talked about this length. From every tangent, other than the tangents from the extremities of an axis, if we consider any other tangent, that is definitely cut by the axis or lines of symmetry of the ellipse, and the length varies, right? Like gradually, if I consider the point of tangency P is moving towards minor axis extremity or major axis extremity, the length will increase, right?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So it will be minimum somewhere intermediately. Okay, so we are thinking of minimizing this length L. So we have firstly considered how we should go for the tangent. And as you can identify over here, neither the slope nor the point of tangency, nothing been given any priority. And as we already decided earlier that if nothing been given priority, we will go for representation in terms of point of tangency, right? It will also be useful because we know that in terms of point of tangency, we get the tangent in intercept form. And this length L is nothing but the hypotenuse of the right triangle, which has intercepts as the other two sides of the right triangle.
We take L is equal to root over a square sec squared theta plus b squared cos x squared theta.
Very good. So we will go for
Then
L
apply
is
trigonometric minimum and maximum.
a square sec square theta plus b square cosec square theta. But just after having so, we have considered, does sec square and cosec square directly share any identity?
No, sir, but the tan square and cot square.
Very
do.
good. Sec square is associated with tan square by the identity, and cosec square is associated with cot square by the identity, who are reciprocal to each other, right? So
Yes.
with that idea, we have replaced sec square theta with 1 plus tan square theta and replaced cosec square theta with 1 plus cot square theta. Okay. Now, a square and b square, this green highlighted terms, these are constant. They do not have any impact of theta. And we have been reduced to sum of these two terms, a square tan square theta plus b square cot square theta. We need to minimize this sum. We are not sure about this sum, but are you sure about the product of these two orange highlighted terms?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. M greater than G.
Yes, sir. AMGM.
Very good. So the product is constant and known to us, and we are willing to minimizing the sum. So AMGM comparison will be helpful. So using AMGM comparison on this two term, a square tan square theta plus b square cot square theta divided by 2 greater than equals to square root of a square b square, or simply a square tan square theta plus b square cot square theta greater than equals to 2ab. And if I replace sum of these two terms by its minimum possibility, 2ab, then L has become root over a square plus b square plus 2ab, or L minimum of L has become a plus b. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
So we are established with the result, but in the journey, we have got some other results too, right? And what is that other result that we haven't marked? Like, can AM be always equal with GM, or is it a special possibility? We
It's
have
special.
gone by the equality.
Special possibility.
Okay, so under what special possibility this will be true? AM equals to GM?
So if a square tan square theta is equal to b square cot
It-
square theta.
Very
A tan
good. So
theta
if
equal to b
these
cot.
two terms are same, they are identical, then only AM can be equals to GM.
Yes, sir.
If you equate these two terms, that gives you a degree 4 relation in tan theta,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
Like tan to the power 4 of theta is equals to b square by a square, right? So that means we will get 4 values of theta, and accordingly we will get 4 points. a point over here, symmetrically a point in second quadrant, a point in the third quadrant, a point in the fourth quadrant. We will get 4 such points for which this minimum length can be found, right? Is
Yes.
that okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion in the calculation?
No, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, EMGM টা ওটা কেন নিলাম বল?
We were addressing the sum of two variable terms. We want to minimize the sum and the product of the two considered variable terms was constant, right? A
Yes,
square
sir.
tan square theta and b square cot square theta, their product is a square b square.
Yes, sir.
The product is constant. Sum we don't know, that's variable sum. But it is confirmed both the terms are positive. So we
Yes.
were addressing sum of two variable terms. We are willing to have the minimum sum when it is known that the product of the two terms is constant. Okay? So all this indicates towards the loan comparison in terms of arithmetic mean greater than equals to geometric mean, because that compares a sum with a product, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So is that logically acceptable for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as an application, let's go for find the locus of the point of intersection of tangents for x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1, which are inclined at a fixed angle theta between them. Okay, so we need to find locus of the point of intersection of the tangents which are inclined by an angle theta. So this is application from the basics of tangent equation. And we have decided earlier that for any second degree curve, the equation of tangent in terms of slope is reducible to a quadratic. Even prior to that, why should we bother about slope? As the information is angle between the tangents, right? Tangents are two straight lines. If two straight lines having angle theta between them, what can we conclude? That tan theta is equals to, can you recall? Hello?
Tan theta equal to modulus of m2 minus m1 divided by 1 plus m1.
Very good. So that means it is m1, m2, that is slope of the individual lines, which are going to play important role. So that means how we should address the tangents in general in terms of slope. The next idea is tangent in terms of slope for any second degree curve. We have already found that it is reducible to a quadratic in M, right? And hence, if we satisfy it by the point of intersection of the two tangents, then the quadratic will have roots of as slopes of those two tangents who are getting intersected at that very point, right? So as per the diagram, we are considering P as one such instance where two tangents intersecting at an angle theta. We need locus of P. Okay. So if I believe that P is some point H comma K, and hence we consider any general tangent of the ellipse and make sure that it passed through P, then it will be having transformed into a quadratic in M, having roots M1 and M2 as slopes of the tangents P and PB. So tan theta will be modulus of M1 minus M2 by 1 plus M1 M2, what just now we discussed. So is the analysis clear and acceptable for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So let's target that. So we have substituted h for x and k for y and gone for the squaring to get it reduced to a quadratic. So that has given us this quadratic association, right? This is a quadratic association in terms of m. And now if m1 and m2 are the roots of this equation, so we already know m1 plus m2 and m1 into m2. And we are interested in modulus of m1 minus m2 and 1 plus m1 m2. So we can go for tan square theta is, instead of difference, we can, instead of square of the difference, we can replace it as square of the sum minus 4 times the product. And all these informations are there right from the quadratic association. Is this idea clear to all?
Yes, sir.
So now
Yes,
if we
sir.
substitute these values in terms of h and k, we can get to our locus.
Yes, sir.
So this is the locus, right? Instead of keeping the tan square theta on the left hand side, you can make it cot square theta and write it on the right hand side. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
And why we should do so, that we have already discussed in parabola. Like if theta is some odd multiple of pi by 2, then tan square theta is not defined, but cot square theta is. So over there, we will write this as cot square theta on the right hand side. Okay, as a factor, cot square theta on the right hand side. But if theta is any even multiple of pi by 2, then cot square theta is not defined, but tan square theta is. And hence over there, we will follow this formation. Is that clear? Everyone followed so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in particular for theta equals to pi by 2, this locus is called director circle. And we can confirm that if we make this tan square theta as cot square theta on the other side, that cot square theta will be 0 for theta equals to pi by 2. And if I make this right hand side 0 with tan square theta being shifted to this side, our locus will be simply x square plus y square is equals to a square plus b square. And this is called director circle of the ellipse. Okay, like in circle, we have got locus of the point of intersection of perpendicular tangents as director circle. And we have identified over there that director circle is a concentric circle with root 2 times more radius. In case of circle, we have got this conclusion. Can you all recall?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
For parabola, we haven't got any circle, but we have got the point of intersection of perpendicular tangents are appearing along the directrix. So directrix was the locus,
Yes, sir.
right? Again on ellipse, we have got this as a circle, which is a concentric circle, and the radius is same as the distance between extremity of major axis and minor axis. Means extremity of major axis from extremity of minor axis, right? So we have got this director circle, and we can also think of the alternate description, which has already been discussed, that the same locus we can think of without targeting the final outcome. We can simply look into this product of the root, and for perpendicularity of the tangents, this m1, m2 is -1. So even from there, we can directly get to this director circle. Right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, we are going for product of perpendicular distances from foci from any tangent of an ellipse is always b square, where 2b is the length of minor axis. Okay, so what does it says? Okay, in the earlier diagram, in this form, this diagram, we have found that foot of the perpendiculars from foci, they always lie on auxiliary circle. Moreover, the last theory we have discussed, this is suggesting for any such general tangent, the product of ST and S dash T dash, that will always be square of semi-minor length. Okay. So to have so, we have got this diagram and drawn the foot of the perpendicular on a variable tangent from the foci. So we know the tangent is going to appear in terms of this, and we are using slope m because we are going to target perpendicularity. Though over here perpendicular lines equation is not required, so you can also think of the parametric form, that is the representation of tangent in terms of point of tangency as a valid representation, because all we need to go for perpendicular distances of foci from the tangent, right? So this is our tangent. If we consider the two foci and hence ST and S dash been found, through their multiplication, we will get this result. We know that these two expressions are like a plus b and a minus b formation. So when we multiply the square of its difference of their squares, so we have got a square m square plus b square minus a square e square m square. Now associate this to highlighted part. We know that a square minus e square, a square minus a square is square, that's b square. So if we associate this to highlighted part, after taking m square common, it's b square, and already we had a b square. So we can change the numerator as b square into 1 plus m square. And hence the product can be shown b square. So that's something very, very special, that even though the tangent varies, the product of perpendicular distances of foci from the tangent remains constant. Okay, like if this is a parallel to axis, parallel to major axis tangent, then definitely it is going to be both distances b, and hence product would have been b square. Now with alteration or inclination towards this side or inclination towards the other side, we can identify with the result that the product will stay unaltered. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
And just keep this idea in mind that product is equals to constant. This might be something that an idea that we are going to explore with rectangular hyperbola. So over there, this idea will be reconsiderable. Anyway, for the timing, the result is sufficient. Is that clear and gettable for everyone?
Yes, sir.
So with this much, I'm ending today's session. Okay. The rest part of the ellipse will be done in our next session.